Your 7-year-old comes home from school, throws their backpack on the floor, and announces, "Everyone says I have to like this new movie, but I don't. What's wrong with me?" Here's what most parents do. They either say, "Just be yourself," or they explain why the movie is actually good. But what if I told you there's a third option? An ancient approach that's been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years? Today, we're diving deep into something that changed my entire approach to parenting and teaching Stoic philosophy. But forget what you think you know about Stoicism. We're not talking about suppressing emotions or being cold and logical. We're talking about giving children the most powerful gift you can offer, the ability to think for themselves. We're going on a journey. Whether you're a parent, teacher, mentor, or just someone who cares about the next generation, this video will give you practical, proven techniques to raise independent thinkers in a world that's constantly telling kids, WHAT think. And here's my promise to you. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete framework, stories, exercises, real conversations that you can use starting today. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's talk about how ancient Stoic wisdom can transform the way we teach our children to navigate this complex world. Chapter 1. The Crisis of Critical Thinking. Before we dive into solutions, we need to understand the problem. And trust me, it's bigger than you think. The echo chamber generation. Last month, I watched my niece, brilliant kid, straight A's, completely melt down because her friend group decided a certain brand of shoes was cringe, not because she didn't like them. She actually loved those shoes, but the group had decided, and that was that. Here's what's happening. We're raising the most connected generation in human history, but they're simultaneously the most susceptible to groupthink we've ever seen. Social media usage among kids, 3 to 4 hours daily. Peer influence versus independent thought metrics. Decision-making autonomy declining. The 3 modern traps. Trap 1. The information overload. Kids today are bombarded with 10,000 plus messages per day. Their brains literally don't have time to process and evaluate. They're consuming, not thinking. Trap 2. The authority paradox. We tell kids, question everything, then get upset when they question us. We're sending mixed messages about when to think independently and when to comply. Trap 3. The emotional hijacking. Every platform is designed to trigger emotional responses. Kids are learning to react, not respond. There's a massive difference, and we'll explore that deeply today. But here's the beautiful irony. The Stoics faced remarkably similar challenges. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. Talk about information overload. Epictetus was born a slave. Talk about questioning authority. Seneca navigated one of the most corrupt political systems in history. Talk about emotional manipulation. And yet, these philosophers developed a system of thinking that made them unshakable. Not cold, not detached, but clear, grounded, and free. That's what we're going to give our kids. And the beauty is Stoic thinking isn't just for adults. In fact, children might be even better at it than we are, because they haven't built up decades of mental baggage yet. Chapter 2. Stoicism 101. The Foundation. All right, let's build our foundation. I'm going to give you the Stoic essentials in a way that makes sense for teaching kids. No ancient Greek required. The core principle, the dichotomy of control. The Stoics had this revolutionary idea. There are things you control and things you don't. That's it. The key to peace, wisdom, and effective living is knowing the difference. What you control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your effort, your character. What you don't control, other people's opinions, the weather, test results, only your preparation, whether someone likes you back, the past or the future, I taught this to a 9-year-old named Jake who was devastated because he didn't make the soccer team. Here's what I said. Jake, did you control how hard you practiced? Yes. Did you control how much effort you gave at tryouts? Yes. Did you control which kids the coach picked? No. Did you control whether the coach was having a bad day? No. So here's the question. Why are you torturing yourself over something you never controlled in the first place? Let's focus on what you do control getting better for next time. That single conversation shifted everything for him. The 4 cardinal virtues, kid-friendly version. 1. Wisdom, seeing things clearly. Not the same as being smart. It's about asking good questions. Understanding what's true versus what feels true. 2. Courage. Doing what's right, even when it's hard. Standing up for your friend when others won't. Admitting you're wrong. Trying something that scares you. 3. Justice, being fair and kind to everyone. Treating the unpopular kid with respect. Not taking more than your share. Helping when you see someone struggling. 4. Temperance. Having self-control. Not eating all the Halloween candy in one night. My kids struggle with this. Finishing homework before video games. Listening before speaking. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds great in theory, but kids are impulsive. They're emotional. How do we actually teach this? That's what the rest of this video is about. Real strategies, real conversations, real results. The Stoic mind. Pause before response. Here's one of the most powerful Stoic practices, and it's brilliantly simple. Event gives pause, gives response. Most people live like this. Event gives reaction. Someone says something mean, gives you lash out. You fail a test, gives you give up. Someone disagrees with you, gives you get defensive. But Stoics taught something radical. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there's a space. And in that space lies your freedom. I taught my daughter this using a literal stoplight. Red equals something happens. Someone pushes you, you get a bad grade, etc. Yellow equals pause. Take a breath. Think. Green equals choose your response with wisdom. She's 11 now, and I actually catch her muttering yellow light to herself when she's upset. It's become her internal pause button. Chapter 3. The Socratic Method meets Stoicism. Here's where it gets really practical. The best way to teach kids how to think is to stop giving them answers and start asking better questions. The power of questions. Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher who influenced the Stoics, never gave lectures. He asked questions, relentlessly, annoyingly, brilliantly. And kids? Kids are natural question askers. Why is the sky blue? Why do I have to go to school? Why can't I have ice cream for breakfast? We train them out of this by always providing answers. We need to reverse that. The question framework for parents. Instead of telling your child what to think, use these question patterns. When they face a problem, don't say, here's what you should do. Ask, what do you think your options are? When they're upset, don't say, don't be sad, it's not a big deal. Ask, this seems really important to you. What exactly are you feeling, and what's making you feel that way? When they want something, don't say, no, because I said so. Ask, that's interesting. Why do you think you want that? What would having it do for you? When they face peer pressure, don't say, just don't care what other people think. Ask, if nobody would ever know your decision, what would you choose? What does that tell you? Real conversation examples. Let me walk you through 3 real conversations I've had and how Stoic questions transform them. Scenario 1. The social media meltdown. Daughter, everyone's posting these videos and I'm not good enough. I only got 12 likes. Me, interesting. Help me understand, what were you hoping those likes would mean? Daughter, that people like me. That I'm cool. Name? Got it. So if you got 100 likes instead of 12, would you be cooler, or would people just think you're cooler? Daughter, they'd think I'm cooler? Right. So you're letting strangers' opinions control how you feel about yourself. That's giving away a lot of power. Which do you control your actual worth as a person or what strangers think? Daughter, my actual worth? Me. So why are we obsessing over the thing you don't control? Did you catch what happened there? I didn't tell her social media is bad. I didn't dismiss her feelings. I guided her to see the illogic in her own thinking through questions. Scenario 2, the unfair teacher. Son, my teacher hates me. She gave me a C on my essay and it was good. Me. That sounds frustrating. Do you think she actually hates you, or are you interpreting her grade as hate? Son, well, she probably doesn't hate me. Me. Okay, so she gave you a C. What do you control about that situation? Son, I control how much effort I put in. Me. Did you put in your best effort? Son, not really. I kind of rushed it the night before. Me. Interesting. So what if the grade isn't about you being good or bad, but just information about your effort? What could you do differently next time? See how the Stoic dichotomy of control shifted this from blame to empowerment? Scenario 3, the fear of failure. Child, I don't want to try out for the play. What if I don't get a part? Me, good question. What if you don't? What's the worst thing that happens? Child, everyone will know I failed. Me, will they though? Or will they just know you tried? What do you think takes more courage, trying and risking failure, or not trying at all? Child, trying. Me, and if you're practicing courage, which is one of the most important virtues, does the outcome even matter? You've already succeeded by being brave. The role is just a bonus. Do you see the pattern? We're teaching kids to 1. Examine their assumptions. 2. Identify what they control. 3. Choose responses based on wisdom and virtue. 4. Reframe outcomes as information, not identity. Chapter 4. Age-appropriate Stoic practices. Now let's get really practical. I'm going to give you specific exercises and practices for different age groups. Ages 4 to 7. The foundation years. Practice 1. The control circle. Get a paper plate. Draw a circle in the middle. Inside the circle, draw things they control, their smile, their words, their effort, being kind. Outside the circle, draw things they don't, weather, other kids' choices, what's for dinner. When something upsets them, is this inside or outside your circle? Practice 2. The feelings detective. Kids this age are emotional tsunamis. Teach them to name emotions. I notice you're showing me an angry face. Let's be detectives. What's making you feel angry? Where do you feel it in your body? What does anger want you to do? What would a wise person do instead? Practice 3. Story time with Stoics. Read age-appropriate stories, then ask Stoic questions. Was that character controlling what they could control? Did they act with courage? What would you have done? Ages 8 to 12. Building critical thinking. Practice 1. The daily dichotomy. Every evening at dinner, tell me one thing that happened today that you couldn't control and how you responded. This becomes a game. Kids will start seeing the dichotomy everywhere. Practice 2. The perspective exercise. When they're in conflict with someone, tell me the story from your perspective. Now tell me the exact same story from their perspective. This is hard but powerful. It teaches empathy and wisdom, seeing multiple sides. Practice 3. The obstacle game. Based on Marcus Aurelius, the obstacle is the way. When they face a problem, literally write it down. Then ask, how could this problem actually be an opportunity? What could you learn from this? How might this make you stronger? My son didn't get invited to a birthday party. We did the obstacle exercise. Obstacle, not invited. Opportunity, time to do something he actually wanted to do. Learning, not everyone will include you, and that's okay. Strength, practicing not needing external validation. Ages 13 to 17, Advanced Stoicism. Practice 1. The view from above. This is a classic Stoic meditation. When teens are drowning in drama, zoom out. Imagine looking at this situation from space. How big is it really? Will it matter in a week? A year? 10 years? Practice 2. Negative visualization carefully. Stoics practiced imagining loss to appreciate what they have. For teens, what if you lost your phone for a month? How would your life change? What would you miss? What wouldn't you miss? This builds gratitude and reduces attachment. Practice 3. The character journal. Teens are forming their identity. Have them keep a character journal. Today I practiced courage when I showed justice by. I lacked wisdom when I need to work on temperance with. The universal practice. The evening review. Every night, review 3 questions. What did I do well today? Virtue practice. What could I have done better? No self-criticism, just honest assessment. What am I grateful for? Stoic gratitude. Marcus Aurelius did this as emperor. Your 8-year-old can do it too. Chapter 5. Handling specific challenges. Let's tackle the real-world scenarios parents ask me about most. These are the tough ones. Challenge 1. Peer pressure and conformity. Your child comes home. Everyone has. I'm the only one who doesn't. I'm so embarrassed. The Stoic approach. Parent, it sounds like you're feeling pressure to fit in. That's really normal. Let's think through this together. If you got the thing, would you actually want it for you, or because everyone else has it? Child. Well, I guess because everyone has it. Parent. Okay, interesting. So right now, other people are controlling what you want. How does that feel? Child. Not great. Parent. Here's a Stoic question. Would you rather be respected for following your own path, or liked for following everyone else's? Because you can't have both. This is teaching autonomy. We're not saying never fit in. We're saying make conscious choices about when to fit in and when to stand out. The deeper lesson. Introduce the concept of living according to nature, which, for Stoics, meant living according to your nature, not society's expectations. What kind of person do you want to be? Not what your friends want, not what Instagram says. Who do you want to become? Challenge 2. Failure and rejection. This is where Stoicism shines, because Stoics didn't avoid failure, they reframed it. The conversation. Child. I failed my driving test. I'm so stupid. Parent. Wait, you failed a test, so now you're stupid? Help me understand that logic. If you passed, would you suddenly become smart? Child. Well, no. Parent. Right. So failing a test doesn't change who you are. It's just information. What information did you get? Child. That I need to practice parallel parking more. Parent. Perfect. So this failure just gave you valuable data. That's actually useful, isn't it? Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, was once having a philosophical discussion when he broke his leg. Know what he said? Child. What? Parent. I knew my leg was breakable. He didn't freak out, he just acknowledged reality and dealt with it. Can you acknowledge the reality without the drama? Challenge 3. Emotional overwhelm. Kids today face anxiety and depression at unprecedented rates. Stoicism isn't therapy, but it's a powerful complement. The approach. First, validate. I see you're really struggling. Your feelings are real and valid. Then, gently introduce cognitive distance. Let's look at your thoughts together. You said everything is terrible. Is everything terrible? Or are some things terrible while some things are okay? This is called cognitive distancing, seeing thoughts as events, not truths. The exercise. Draw 3 columns. Situation. Automatic thought. Alternative thought. Got a B on test. I'm dumb. I'm learning, and B's are fine. Friend didn't text back. They hate me. They might be busy. This is straight from cognitive behavioral therapy, which is based on Stoicism. Challenge 4. Technology and distraction. Temperance self-control is hard when you're literally holding a dopamine machine. The Stoic tech rules. Rule 1. The delay principle. Before you pick up your phone, pause for 10 seconds and ask, do I want to do this? Or am I just bored avoiding something? Rule 2. The value test. If someone paid you $100 to not check your phone for an hour, could you do it? If yes, why are you giving away that self-control for free? Rule 3. The deathbed test for older kids. When you're 80, will you wish you'd spent more time on TikTok or more time doing things that matter to you? Look, I'm not anti-technology, but Stoics believed in using tools wisely, not being used by them. Teach kids to be masters of their devices, not slaves. Challenge 5. Injustice and unfairness. IT's not fair is the rallying cry of childhood. And you know what? Sometimes they're right. The conversation, child, it's not fair. Sarah got a phone and I didn't. Parent, you're right, life isn't fair. It never has been, and it never will be. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago. So here's the question. Do you want to spend your energy being upset about unfairness you can't control? Or putting that energy towards something you can control? Child, like what? Parent, like earning money for your own phone. Like focusing on what you have instead of what others have. Like practicing gratitude. You control your response to unfairness, not the unfairness itself. Critical caveat. This does not mean accepting injustice when you can fight it. The Stoics were activists, but they focused their energy on battles they could actually affect. Teach kids. If it's unjust and you can do something about it, act. If it's unjust and you can't change it, acceptance is wisdom, not weakness. Chapter 6. Creating a Stoic household. Individual practices are great, but real transformation happens when the whole family embraces these principles. The family Stoic agreement. Sit down together and create a family philosophy. Our family values. We focus on what we can control. We speak truthfully and kindly. We view obstacles as opportunities. We support each other's growth. We practice gratitude daily. Put it somewhere visible. Reference it when conflicts arise. The dinner table philosophy hour. One night a week, we do Philosophy Friday. The format. Everyone shares their obstacle of the week and how they responded. We discuss a Stoic concept, 5 minutes, kid-friendly. We ask one big question. What's something you believe that you've never questioned? Why do we go to school? What makes someone a good person? Is it better to be liked or respected? What would you do if you couldn't fail? There's no right answer. We're building thinking muscles. The household challenges. Make Stoicism fun with challenges. The gratitude challenge. For 1 week, everyone must find 3 new things to be grateful for each day. No repeats. The courage challenge. Everyone must do 1 thing that scares them this week. Share at the end. The control challenge. Catch yourself worrying about something you can't control. Share it, laugh about it, let it go. Modeling Stoic behavior. Here's the hard truth. Kids learn more from what we do than what we say. When you mess up, I just yelled at you, and I shouldn't have. I let my frustration control me instead of pausing to think. I'm sorry. I'm going to practice better self-control. When you face obstacles, think out loud. Okay, I just got some bad news about work. I can't control the situation, but I can control how I respond. Let me think through my options. When you're tempted, I really want to buy this thing I don't need. I'm practicing temperance, so I'm going to wait 24 hours and see if I still want it. The language shift. Change your household language. You're so smart. Gives, you worked really hard on that. Don't be sad. Gives, I see you're sad. What's going on? You're making me angry. Gives, I'm choosing to feel angry right now. You have to. Gives, you get to choose, and choices have consequences. This subtle language shift teaches agency, responsibility, and Stoic wisdom. Chapter 7. The Long Game Raising Stoic Adults. Let's zoom out. What's the end goal here? What does a Stoic upbringing create? The Stoic adult profile. A person raised with Stoic thinking. They're resilient. They face setbacks without catastrophizing. They adapt. They persist. They're clear-headed. They can separate facts from feelings. They make decisions based on values, not impulses. They're independent. They don't need constant validation. They trust their own judgment while remaining open to new information. They're compassionate because they understand human nature and suffering. They're kind without being pushovers. They're purposeful. They know what matters to them and align their actions accordingly. The research backs this up. Studies on children taught critical thinking and emotional regulation show higher academic achievement, better mental health outcomes, stronger relationships, greater career success, lower substance abuse rates. Stoic principles, rebranded as cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness, are now mainstream psychology. We're just going straight to the source. The Marcus Aurelius legacy. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world, emperor of Rome. He could have raised his son to be entitled, reactive, and power-hungry. Instead, he wrote in his Meditations, "If someone can show me that what I think or do is not right, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth." He taught his children that wisdom was more valuable than empire. Now, 2,000 years later, his parenting advice written in private journals is still read by millions. His empire is gone. His wisdom remains. That's what we're doing. We're not just raising kids. We're raising the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and wise human beings. The warning. I need to be honest about something. This approach requires patience. You won't see results overnight. You might not see results for years. There will be moments when your Stoic parenting seems to fail spectacularly. Your kid will still melt down. They'll still make bad choices. They'll still struggle. That's okay. You're planting seeds. The question isn't, will they get it immediately? The question is, what kind of foundation am I laying for their entire life? Remember that child at the beginning? The one who didn't like the movie everyone said they should like? Here's how a Stoic parent might respond. That's interesting that you feel differently from your friends. Why don't you like it? What bothers you about it? And here's the bigger question. Does it matter if everyone else likes it? Can something be wrong for you even if it's right for them? You're not telling them WHA to think. You're teaching them to examine their OWN thoughts, to trust their OWN judgment, to be okay standing alone. Starting today, pick one practice from this video. Just one. The pause button. Red, yellow, green light. The control circle. The Socratic questions. The evening review. Do that one thing for 30 days. Get comfortable with it. Then add another. Building Stoic thinking is like building muscle consistent. Small efforts compound into transformation. The resources. I've created a free downloadable guide with everything from this video. All the practices organized by age. Conversation scripts. Stoic stories for kids. weekly challenge ideas. You can find it in the description below, along with links to books, resources, and communities of parents doing this work. The world needs more independent thinkers, more people who can regulate their emotions, more humans who act with virtue instead of reacting with impulse. Your child could be one of them. But it starts with you making one choice, to teach them how to think, not what to think. This isn't easy. Parenting never is. But I promise you, when your 16-year-old comes to you with a problem and says, "Let me think through what I can control," here, when your 12-year-old handles rejection with grace, when your 8-year-old shows wisdom beyond their years, you'll know this mattered. Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one. Then teach your children to be one too.